President Donald Trump hosted Turkey's President Recep Tayyip Erdogan in the Oval Office Thursday, touting their friendship even in exile, and calling on Russian President Vladimir Putin to stop the war in Ukraine. The visit is Erdogan's first trip to the White House since 2019. The two leaders forged what Trump has described as a very good relationship during his first White House go-round, despite the US-Turkey relationship often being complicated. "We are working on many trade and military deals with the president, including the large-scale purchase of Boeing aircraft, a major F-16 deal, and a continuation of the F-35 talks, which we expect to conclude positively," Trump said in a social media post. Trump started his Oval Office meeting with Erdogan by offering hope that a resolution to Turkey's removal from flagship F-35 fighter jet program could be hatched during the day's talks. "He needs certain things, and we need certain things, and we're going to come to a conclusion," Trump said. "You'll know by the end of the day." US officials worried that Turkey's use of Russia's S-400 surface-to-air missile system could be used to gather data on the capabilities of the F-35 and that the information could end up in Russian hands.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be with President Erdogan of Turkey, and we've been friends for a long time, actually, even for 4 years when I was in exile, unfairly, as it turns out. Rigged election, he knows about rigged elections better than anybody. But when I was in exile, we were still friends. That's always a good way to find out, test a friendship. But he's a highly respected man. He's respected very much in his country and all throughout Europe and throughout the world where they know him. He's built a tremendous military, powerful military, uses a lot of our equipment. And it's an honor to have him at the White House. We're going to have a lunch together. We're going to have a discussion, big discussion. We do a lot of trade with Turkey, and we're going to continue. We're going to do some additional trade. They want to buy F-16s, F-35s, and some other things. And we're going to talk to them about that. And we're just going to have, I think, a very interesting couple of hours. We're going to get a lot done. But it's a great honor to have the President of Turkey with us. And how are you?
Fine.
Say a few words.
And you?
Great guy. Okay, very good. I would like to be able to do that. The Greek Orthodox Church was here, and they would really like to have some help. They need some help, and I said I'd mention it. We appreciate it. So this is a tough man. This is a guy who's highly opinionated. Usually I don't like opinionated people, but I always like this one. But he's a tough one, and he does an amazing job in his country. And we've had tremendous relationships, both having to do with war and having to do with trade. And I guess today we're talking about both. I'd like to have him stop buying any oil from Russia while Russia continues this rampage against Ukraine. And they've been fighting. They've lost millions of lives already. And for what? For what? It's disgraceful. And I said yesterday, let it keep going, because their economy is absolutely terrible right now, and I think it's a shame that they're doing that, killing a lot of people unnecessarily. 7,818 people were killed last week, mostly military people, their people, and Ukrainians. More Russians actually than Ukraine, a little bit more, but it's such a waste of human life, and so he ought to stop. Putin ought to stop. And with that, we'll get to a little bit of a discussion. We're going to make some great trade deals for both countries. We do a lot of business with Turkey. They build great products. They build beautiful, great products, really fantastic manufacturers. And we buy a lot from them, and they buy a lot from us. Would you have any questions, please?
Öncelikle bu ziyaretimizi Birleşmiş Milletler Genel Kurulu'yla iç içe olan bir dönemde gerçekleştirdiğimizden dolayı arkadaşlarımla beraber çok mutluyuz.
Ukrainian forces have liberated 360 square kilometers of territory from the Russian army over the past month. Russian troops have also been encircled, stated Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky during a meeting with US President Donald Trump. This month, our soldiers deoccupied 360 square kilometers and encircled 1,000 soldiers. Of course, we want to exchange them, because we need our soldiers in any case, Zelensky emphasized. He added that thanks to Ukrainian soldiers, the defense will continue until Russia ends the war. And I hope they will stop in any case, the president added. Zelensky told reporters after his meeting with Trump in New York that the US president had previously relied on Russian President Vladimir Putin's assessments of the war but now trusts Ukrainian intelligence and battlefield reports. One by one, he understood that Putin is just sharing some information which is far from the real situation. Now he trusts much more to me, he said. Zelensky welcomed Trump's call to stop importing Russian energy, saying Ukraine had long warned European nations about dependence on Moscow. He noted Slovakia was moving toward alternatives, while criticizing Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orbán for refusing to shift from Russian supplies. All of Hungary can't pay for the mistake of one person, he said. He warned that Russia continues to test NATO's defenses with drone strikes and cyber attacks. Trump agreed with me that Putin will not wait for the end of the war in Ukraine. He will try to find weak places in Europe, in NATO countries, said Zelensky. On possible guarantees, Zelensky said Trump expressed a readiness to provide security assurances once the war ends, though details remain under discussion. He also welcomed a planned meeting between Ukraine's First Lady Olena Zelenska and US First Lady Melania Trump as a very good step forward.